fortunate to have Mr. Anand Patil sir with us. So I will just give a brief introduction about sir. So yeah, Mr. Anand Patil sir is graduated from BE from Electronics and Telecommunication from Pune University in 1997, and he's Center of Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, Project Management Professional from PMI USA and CSQA from SEI, and he is USA certified. So, and he has over 19 years of experience in IT industry. He has worked with Cognizant Technologies Limited as an associate director in learning and development division, and also served as head for solution team for business consulting, global technology office, and he has worked in delivery excellence, commercials, and corporate functions. He is the chief education architect in KPIT Technologies Private Limited in Pune, and he leads the continuous education and competency framework department in L&D for KPIT. Yeah. So he has worked in various capacities before Cognizant, such as solution delivery manager for Netcracker in New Zealand, and senior project manager for Infosys Technologies Limited, and associate consultant for Capgemini. And he has an international work experience. He has traveled. Traveled and worked with few of the biggest telecom operators in US, Canada, UK, Germany, Belgium, Australia, and New Zealand. So this was his professional part. Besides his excelling in his academic and professional life, sir is actively involved in social welfare activities as well. So he particularly volunteers his time for spreading the timeless scientific wisdom present in the ancient texts like Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible, and in other such ancient contemporary classics, and he makes them relevant to the modern lives. So to all youths like you, it makes it relevant, and he spread this knowledge amongst you. He is appreciated for his motivational talks on personality development, like art of parenting, power of habits, need of values for children, and leadership topics. So especially for school children, youth, and corporates. And over years, he has been invited to deliver such seminars to students in various premier institutes of the country, like IIT Bombay, SGGS Nanded, Baramati College, and various esteemed college. So last year, he had also delivered wonderful presentation for SCI first year students, which was appreciated by hundreds. So we would like to welcome sir by typing W in the chat box. So everyone can welcome sir by typing W in the chat box quickly. So yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you for the introduction. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir. You are clearly audible.
Thank you. So we'll get started. Just sharing my screen. Give me a minute. Okay, so welcome all for this today's session. It's a pleasure for me to be amongst all of you, all young people, and raring to go. So today's topic we want to cover is discover lasting solutions. How can we put sufferings, an end to all the sufferings? In the previous session, we have seen that there are three ways of gaining knowledge: Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. And we have seen that Pratyaksha Praman, or gaining knowledge directly from our senses, like seeing is believing, is not the best way because our senses are not perfect. Anuman also is not perfect because in Anuman we have to compare, we have to actually assume certain things, which is not correct. So Shabda Praman is the perfect way because Shabda has coming from authority. When things come from an authority, it becomes perfect knowledge, and there is no doubt about the knowledge, right? So we also saw that science is researching for reducing our sufferings. in increasing our comfort, to relieve our fears, and to get more and more knowledge for enjoyment, right? So these things actually do not help us to become perfect because of the problems we have with the senses, right? Whereas actually Vedas or the Vedic knowledge gives us the perfect knowledge, right? Because this knowledge is coming from God himself. Now, person who has created the entire universe, universe, he is the one who is going to give the perfect knowledge because he knows everything. For example, if somebody makes a cake and you need to know what is there in this perfect cake, very, very nice cake. So you'll have to go and ask the person who made the cake. You cannot speculate, oh, it might be like this, it might be like that. You could speculate, but you might not get the perfect knowledge out of speculation like that. And Vedas are self-authoritative, and that's where we get the perfect knowledge from Vedas, right? And so now today we're going to talk about how can we get lasting solutions from the Vedas. How can we put stop to all the sufferings, right? So, for example, modern science is trying to put stopgap solutions to all of sufferings, but we are unsuccessful. For example, we wanted to go faster from one place to another. So a vehicle was invented, a two-wheeler or four-wheeler or eight-wheeler or 10-wheeler, whatever it is, or 10-seater, sorry. So basically, we invented a vehicle, but the problem with vehicles is now there are too many vehicles and too little roads. So it's everywhere you go in the evening, it's traffic congestion, right? It is also creating a lot of fumes. It is said that if you go to a city like Pune or Delhi, and if you're going on the streets during peak hours, in one day, you are actually consuming 2 tablets of kerosene worth carbon monoxide, which means if you look at 2 tablets of kerosene, that much kerosene you are inhaling when you're going out. So it's creating a lot of problems. It is solving one problem, but it is creating another problem. Like we wanted to talk with people, so a mobile was invented, but mobile has got its own problems. Because of mobile, people have become impersonal, so on and so forth. There are so many problems which modern society science is not able to actually give solution to us, right? So let's talk about what are the real problems of life, how can we get a solution, and what is a permanent solution. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the question to all of you is, what are the real problems of life? For example, if you ask a boy, what are your problems of life? The typical answer is going to get is, oh, I don't have a good body, I don't have a good job, my family has got some problems, my father is a drunkard, or my mother is not good, I don't have money, and I don't have a girlfriend, I failed in exam. These are the typical problems you will hear from a young boy or a girl, right? But are these real problems? Now, these problems we will not be there for somebody else. Somebody would have good physics, somebody would have good family, somebody would have a lot of money, somebody would have a girlfriend. Maybe a lot of boys nowadays have girlfriend, and somebody is good at exams. So that's not real problems for all. So what is the real problems? What the real problem should fall into this criteria. It should be common to all. It should be that nobody wants it. Mujhe nahi chahiye problem, right? And the third criteria is nobody can avoid it. That should be the criteria for real problems, right? So can you think of some problems which fall in these 3 criteria? It should be common to all. For example, if you say, oh, hunger is a big problem. Well, hunger is not a problem for everybody. It is only a problem for a few people, right? You could say overpopulation. In India, overpopulation is a big problem. Well, overpopulation may be a problem for India, but not for countries like Australia, New Zealand, and so many other countries, Switzerland, Germany. Germany is importing people from outside, Turkey and other nations, because they don't have enough people. That's not a problem for them. So it should be common to all. Nobody would want it, and nobody can avoid it. Can you think of certain problems which fit in this criteria? You can use the chat window to type in your answers. What do you think are the problems which fall into these 3 criteria? Come on, think about it. ऐसे कौन से प्रॉब्लम है जो ये 3 क्राइटेरिया में फुलफिल होते हैं? सबको कॉमन है, किसी को नहीं चाहिए, और कोई अवॉइड नहीं कर सकता। ऐसे कौन से प्रॉब्लम्स? Come on guys, not a single answer yet. Whatever comes to your mind, just type it in the chat window. जो भी मन में आ रहा हो. There are more than 320 people, so at least I should get 10 responses. Okay, Ashwin is raised your hand. Ashwin, tell me. You can unmute yourself, Ashwin. Okay, I'm going to Prasad Babar. Yeah, can you unmute yourself?
Sir, end of life means death.
Sorry?
Death.
Yeah, very good, Prasad. Death is a problem. You know, death is common to all. Nobody wants it, and nobody can avoid it. Thank you, Prasad. Thank you so much. Yes, Tejas, you can unmute yourself.
Stress.
Stress. Not everybody's got stress. There are so many people who are stress free. ऐसे कई लोग हैं जिनको stress है ही नहीं. Yes, Jay.
Health problems.
Yes, very good. Health problem. Health problem is one problem which is common to all. Nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid it. That currently I've got stomach problem. Now I might have a stomach problem, but somebody else has some other problem. But everybody definitely has got some problem. Correct. Very good. So death, health. These are two problems. There are two more. Yes, Jay, you have got your hand up. You want to answer again? Okay, Mandar Joshi, you want to answer that?
Natural calamities.
Yes, Mandar.
Old age, sir.
Old age. Very good, Om Thakkar. Thank you so much. Old age. Old age also is a problem because old age, nobody wants it. It is common. Everybody is going to become old. There is not a single person in the entire world who will say, my old knee. Obviously, some people might die young. That's a different story. But obviously, if you don't die young, then definitely you're going to become old. And that is a problem because nobody wants old age. किसी को बुढ़ापा नहीं चाहिए. किसी को लाठी लेके नहीं घूमना है. किसी को, घुटनों में दर्द नहीं चाहिए. But nobody can avoid it. Yes, very good. We got three answers. I think you are all intelligent students. Okay, Suraj, you got your hand up. You can unmute yourself. There's only one thing remaining now. What is that? Anybody?
Laziness.
Yes.
Laziness.
Yes. Laziness, not everybody is lazy. There are so many people who work 18 hours a day. It's not common to all. Right? Okay, Ashish, you want to answer? Yes, Ashish. Can you repeat yourself? I couldn't hear you.
Money, sir.
No, money is not a problem for many. Some people have got so much money. It's not a problem. Yeah, it's not. Not many people like money, first of all, and not everybody's got a problem, right? So the fourth problem is birth. Now you might say, hey, how come birth is a problem? Everybody actually enjoys or celebrates when somebody is born, a baby is born. So how come birth is a problem? It's a problem because when you get birth, you have to face other three problems. If there is no birth, there is no other three problems, right? So that's how it is. So there are four problems which you have, which fit this criteria: birth, death, old age, and disease. We have to take birth, definitely. We have to die, definitely. We will have disease, definitely. We will be old, definitely. So these are the only four problems which are common to all, which nobody wants it, nobody can avoid it. And these are the real problems. Whatever other problems you are sharing, those are problems which are specific to certain people, right? For currently, Ukraine has got a problem that Russia is attacking. But India doesn't have a problem. US doesn't have a problem like that, right? So a problem which is common to all, you cannot avoid it, and nobody wants it, are these four problems. Okay, these are the real problems which we have in our life, not the other ones. So another aspect of birth is that not only it creates other problems, it also, for 9 months, the baby is actually cramped in the darkness of the womb. It is very, very small space and the baby is crouched like this. If you sit for 5 minutes like this in a small space, you will not be able to sit. But the baby is, crawled in that small space for 9 months. And there is so much of, gas. There is so much of, small insects, small worms who are biting this baby. And it is actually a very big problem for the child, right? So it's a very, very terrible problem. Are you able to hear the sound?
No.
Yes or no? Okay, let me share it again. Now if you're able to see the sound, sorry. Yeah, so you can see from this video, it is very, very terrible situation in the womb. It's not, parents might be enjoying and happy, becoming happy, but it's a terrible situation for the child in the womb. That's how it is dangerous. Old age, everybody knows everybody is going to get old, but nobody wants to. So people who have been beautiful in their, youth have become old now. Nobody wants to look at these old people. Even a person like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was a great, bodybuilder. Now his body is gone. He doesn't have the same body anymore, right? So everybody wants to remain young, but alas, we cannot for long. We'll become weak and frail someday. So old age, nobody wants, right? And that's why the cosmetic industry, the biggest industry, because they are banking upon this factor that nobody wants to become old. That's why everybody wants to apply cosmetic and want to showcase that I am not old, I am young, right? Like that. Now, next is disease. Nobody wants to become diseased. Nobody wants to lie down, go to the hospital, become diseased, become sick. But everybody is forced to. Like recently, there was corona attack, and many people actually died. Many people become diseased, right? So, irrespective of what you want, you are going to definitely get diseased, right? That's another problem which we have. And the last one is death. Nobody wants to die, right? But at the time of death, our subtle body will be taken away and our gross body, which is this body, will stay here, right? And not only that, during death, there is, if one scorpion bites you, it's so intense pain which you feel. Imagine millions of scorpions, Vinsu, stinging you. That is the amount of pain you feel when you die. When a person is dying, he feels intense pain. You cannot imagine how much that pain is. It's about millions of scorpions stinging you at the same time. This is from the Garud Purana. It says that you get enormous pain, which we cannot imagine, right? Okay. So now, apart from these, there are also 3 more problems which we have, right? Problems due to our mind and body, problems due to other living entities, and problems due to natural disasters, right? Now, what are the problems due to mind and body? Mind and body, it gives you trouble many times. You get a headache, you get stomach ache, you get stress, depression, body pain, suicidal thoughts. These are due to your body and mind, right? Some people give little problems, some people give bigger problems, right? So these are actually coming from your body and mind. Some problems are due to your other living entity. You got a bad boss, you got a bad professor, you got a bad friend, bad brother, bad father, right? There are insects who are biting. There are people who want to fight with you. There are bacteria, there are virus, animals, thieves. So these are other entities which are creating problems for us. And then finally, due to natural disasters, tsunami, earthquakes, flood, tornadoes, drought, these are naturally problems are there. So in addition to those 4 problems, there are again these 3 problems, right? Which are creating miseries for us, right? Like that. These are called as kleshas. Adhyatmik klesha, which is due to our body and mind. Adi bhautik klesha, misery is due to other entities. And Adi daivik klesha, misery is due to natural disasters, right? So these are the problems which are actually in our society. So 4 main problems and 3 sub problems: Adhyatmik, Adi bhautik, and Adi daivik kleshas. Okay. So Adhyatmik klesha we talked about. Due to our body and mind, it's troubling a lot. Then there are Adi bhautik klesha is because of living entities around us. They are creating some trouble. If not anybody, there is some mosquito which is biting, or some neighbor who is troubling you. Some boss is there, some professor, some person is there in your life who's troubling you always. Right? Adi daivik klesha. This is basically to the disasters, like that. Okay. Now, so these are real problems. What is the solution which science is offering us? Right? Is science offering any solution? Actually, no. What is the solution for death? There is no solution. What is the solution for disease? You might say, no, sir. Then we have advanced so much in the medical science, we got solution for everything. No. Actually, there are more than 40,000 diseases in the world. And we have solution for only 5,000 diseases. Rest 35,000, we don't have a solution. We don't have a solution for AIDS. We don't have a solution for cancer. We don't have a solution for so many diseases. So many diseases we don't even know, right? Like even Corona, many people died. Now we have got a solution, but before we didn't have. The problem is we might get onto some solution, but the newer diseases are created every day, every night, right? Every day newer diseases are created. So no matter how much you medically advance, we will not be able to solve the problem of birth, old age. Now what about old age? Old age nobody can stop, right? Your knees start paining, your body starts paining. No, there's no solution for that. The diseases I already spoke. Death, there's no solution. Birth, there's no solution. So point is, no matter how much advancement we make in our modern science, medical science, modern science, these 4 problems and the 3 additional problems, there is no solution. You might get solution to certain problems, but not these 7 problems, right? Modern science doesn't have solutions to these problems. We might want to become happy, we want to remain happy for long, but no, the miseries in our life do not allow to become happy. Newer and newer diseases are created every day. So how can we be happy? There was one guy called Muhammad Ali. He was a great boxer. You can see in this video. He used to pump people and kick them out of the ring. And he was such a great, he used to say, I am the greatest of all, right? Now, when he was old, he had Parkinson's disease and he died because of Parkinson's disease. When he was old, he couldn't even lift a cup of tea. That was the stage. Earlier, he used to kick people, and he was able to actually win a lot of games. But then later, when he was old, he couldn't even lift a cup of coffee. So basically, old age actually deteriorates everybody. Everybody's powers are thwarted when you become old. Right? So you cannot remain young for long. So then the problem is, you got problems and you're trying to find solutions for these temporary problems. You got problem with the body, you take painkiller. You got problem with the young age, you have certain cosmetics. But that is not the final problem, final solution, right? Like Martin Luther King said, right? Now we can fly like a bird in the sky and swim like a fish underwater in a submarine. But the only problem is we cannot walk like a human being because there's so many pollution, so many contamination. Let's look at this video. This is the contamination, this is the pollution we have created. We have got solution as for plastic, but it is creating so much of trouble in the body. Health is, a lot of people are getting cancer, a lot of people are getting pneumonia, a lot of people are getting tuberculosis because of all this contamination. Look at the mountain of 6 billion tires. What are we going to do with that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what can we do with the old tires. They're just lying there. You cannot dump them into the ground. You cannot burn them. You can't do anything about it, right? That is the problem. Science has invented bomb. Now you can see in Russia and Ukraine what is happening. That idiotic people are actually bombing Ukraine and the civilians just for the sake of it. They're using these bombs for what? Just troubling other people. That's all. So we have certain problems. We have certain temporary solution. Like I got white hair. I could dye my hair and say, okay, I don't have white hair. But how long? You'll have to do it every week. I got wrinkles in my body. Then I use a facelift. That will show that I don't have wrinkles. It is just covering my body. It is not actually giving me a permanent solution. I got a back pain, stomach pain. I use a painkiller. Again, these are temporary solutions for my temporary problems. Right? So superficial solutions are not going to actually give you final solution. Right? You might be able to patch up and fool some people sometimes, but not all times. Right? This reality will soon be exposed. We cannot remain like we could see the examples of Marilyn Monroe and Sridevi and Michael Jackson. Marilyn Monroe, she was so famous, so beautiful that everybody loved her. But one day she saw she had gray hair. So she thought, oh, I got a gray hair now. People will stop loving me. People will start liking me. Better I go and commit suicide. So she committed suicide. Michael Jackson, just famous. He converted his entire skin into white. But that white skin started giving problems. He always had some other problem because it's artificial. You're removing your original skin, you're putting a plastic skin. So he couldn't handle it. He committed suicide. Then we have Sridevi. She also did the same thing. Problem is, we are trying to find temporary solutions for our main problems, and we are not even identifying what the main problems are. And that is actually leading us to this situation. Right? So old age, disease, life, death, birth, science and technology cannot stop these things. We have to be very, very clear about this. We cannot be illusioned about this. We cannot think, nahi, kuch to solution niklega. Kuch solution nahi nikalne wala because this is natural. Natural to be old age, natural to be diseased, natural to be death, right? So we cannot have a solution for this problem. Now, luxuries and comforts offered by science and technology, you got a very good car, you got a very good train, you got a very good laptop, mobile, they cannot satisfy the soul, right? We are not this body, we are a soul. We have learned this in the first session, right? So when I am not this body, but I am giving all the comfort for this body, how can it make me happy? Similar to a fish. If a fish is taken out of the sea or the water and it is giving everything, खाना अच्छा खाना दिया, टीवी दिया, दारू दिया, सब कुछ दिया, is it going to survive? No, not at all. Similarly, we are a spirit souls, and no matter how much you try to give material things to it, like good food, good water, and a good vehicle, good house, it is not going to be satisfied. You are not going to be satisfied with all these temporary things or facilities. That's the problem. The soul has to be given what the soul needs. And what is that? The soul needs to be given spiritual happiness, spiritual engagements. It needs to be happy spiritually. And what is that? We're going to learn in the next few sessions. But the point here is we are not going to be happy by these temporary solutions. कितना भी पैसा आने दो, कितना भी घर लेने दो, कितना भी गाड़ी आने दो, कितना भी अच्छा खाना खाओ, it is not going to satisfy the soul. Because soul and matter are different. It's like mixing oil and water and hoping it will mix. Kabhi mix nahi hoga. Oil and water are totally different. Like this fish, they're going to always feel empty in our heart, right? One time, one person was hunting, and by some accident, he actually, his boat went to a very, very remote island, desolate island, and he fell unconscious on the boat, and the boat actually reached this island. And when he reached the island, he was unconscious. And when he became conscious, all the tribal people on the island picked him up and they took him to the island, and they made him the king. And as soon as he woke up, he saw, oh, I've been made the king. And he was, seated on a throne. He was given all, a royal dress, and he was very happy. Oh, I have been the king. Wow, it's amazing. But then gradually he started thinking, why did these people make me the king? There must be some secret behind it. So he started asking people around him, मेरे को क्यों राजा बनाया रो? क्या problem क्या है? So the people around him told him, any person who comes to our island on 31st December, we make him the king. He said, okay, oh, is that? Very lucky I am, so I'm lucky. But then he said, what happened to the previous kings? उनके साथ क्या किया आप लोगों ने? He said, after 1 year, we pick that king and throw him in another island where there is nothing to eat, nothing to drink. No living beings are there, only animals, and the animals eat that person. And now this guy became really scared. He said, why do you do this? This is our, this is actually done as part of our culture. हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसे करते हैं, हमारे ट्राइबल जमाती में ऐसे करते हैं. So he was really terrified now. बाप रे, 1 साल के बाद मुझे ऐसे आइलैंड जाना पड़ेगा जहां पे कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है, right? और वहां पे मुझे मरना पड़ेगा. So what he started doing was, because he was the king, he started transporting, bricks, gold, silver, foodstuffs, trees, people to the remote island where he was supposed to be kicked out after 1 year. And after 1 year, he got everything to create a big city there, right? And when he was kicked out of this island, he went to this remote island and lived happily. So the point here, the moral of the story is, when we know now that in this material world, whatever we earn, jitna bhi paisa kama le, jitna bhi gaadi kama le, jitna bhi education kar le, it is going to end in this life only. After our death, we are going to give it up. So the best idea is to understand, what can I carry to my next life? Can I carry my bank balance? Can I carry my car? Can I carry my home? I can't. So I better carry things which I can carry forward to the next life, which is what? Which is spiritual activities. Only spiritual activities can be carried to the next life, nothing else. Or kuch carry nahi kar sakte. Right? So the wise person understands this. He has got firm faith in God. Whereas a foolish person, he's got no faith. Wise person understands there are some laws of God and I have to, follow those laws. Like I follow the state laws. Similarly, the foolish doesn't understand. He thinks, "Arey, kuch nahi, enjoy karo, enjoy madi, khao, piyo, masti karo, bas, aur kuch nahi karna bhaiya. Ye kya bhagwan chhod do." He is looking at immediate pleasure. If that person on the island would have just looked at the immediate pleasure, he would have died in the next island. But a wise person is intelligent. He thinks, "अरे, इस जीवन में इतने तकलीफ है, तो next जीवन में तकलीफ नहीं होने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा?" Right? That is the point. Right? Remembers the temporary nature of this world. Wise understands the temporary nature, whereas foolish forgets. यहाँ पे जो भी है temporary भैया. Everything is temporary. Nothing is going to be permanent. सब कुछ यहाँ पे खत्म होने वाला है. Right? So he follows the regulated life of principles, whereas the foolish person is unregulated, is envy of others, and he goes to hell. That's how the difference between wise and foolish. Life is like a train journey. People are getting off, they are boarding off the train at the next station. One person is going to board. Similarly, in our life, we are going to leave this life one by one. Right? Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti malayam shesha shatavaram icchanti kimachcharamataparam. One time, Yudhishthir Maharaj and Pandavas going in the forest. So they were very, very thirsty. So he first sent Sahadev. Sahadev went and he didn't come back. So he was surprised. After a long time, he did not come. So he sent Nakul. Nakul also did not come back. He then said Arjun. Arjun also did not come back. So he sent Bhim. Bhim also did not come back. So all four brothers did not come back. So Yudhishthir was thinking, kya chal kya raha hai? So he went to that place and he saw a big lake. And he saw all his four brothers were lying there, dead. So he thought, let me first drink and then find out what's happening. He wanted to drink water, but there was a voice which came out from the woods. Don't drink this water. First answer my questions. So the same question was asked to the other four brothers, but they did not pay any attention. So that's why they died. So he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj. He asked many questions. Out of that, one question he asked was, what is the most surprising thing in this world? And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yamalam. He's saying, every day thousands of people are dying. And everybody is watching. Arey, aaj ye mar gaya. जैसे कल शेन वॉर्न मर गया, उसके पहले when Shane Warne died, before that, the same morning he wrote in Twitter that Marsh has actually died. It's very sad. And he didn't know in the morning कि उसका turn शाम को आने वाला. And Shane Warne also passed away. So everybody is watching कि somebody is dying. But the most surprising thing is, everybody is thinking मेरा नंबर अभी नहीं आएगा, मेरा नंबर बाद में आएगा, अभी तो मैं young हूँ, अभी थोड़ी मरने वाला. This is what everybody. This is the most surprising thing. सामने देख रहे हैं, मृत्यु आ रहा है. Somebody is dying, grandfather is dying, grandmother is dying, somebody is dying, but still is thinking, मेरा नंबर बाद में आएगा, देखा जाएगा. This is the most surprising thing. So everybody is actually getting down, right? But they are not understanding कि हमारा मृत्यु आने वाला है. The foolish, they are after petty pleasures of life. They indulge in sinful activities. They see everything as temporary. And they break God's laws, and that's why they go to hell. Right? But the wise, they are very intelligent. So similar to these goats who are standing in line, they are thinking, "Oh, such a nice grass I am getting," but they are not realizing that they are going to be butchered in the next 5 minutes, and that is the problem. वो सामने वाले को देख रहा है कि problem मेरा है, but he's not able to realize the solution. So now, what is the solution Vedic wisdom offers us? Vedic wisdom offers us answers to two questions. Why am I suffering? And what is the goal of life? मैं क्यों सफर कर रहा हूँ? इतना प्रॉब्लम्स क्यों है लाइफ में भाई? और मेरे जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या होना चाहिए? This is what the solutions are. Right? So why are we suffering? We are suffering because we are breaking the laws of God. We have come from the spiritual world and we are living here because we broke the laws. And even here now we are breaking the laws. Right? For example, a child leaves the parents and he goes into the other world without his parents, he's going to suffer a lot. Similarly, we have left our God or God, and we are trying to find happiness on our own. That is actually what is giving us suffering, right? And we have got material problems for which we will have to have spiritual solutions. When we align with God, when we understand what God wants us to do, God wants us to just recognize him and serve him. That's all. God is not asking much. God is saying कि तुम मेरी सेवा करो, तुम खुश हो जाओ. Why is he asking for that? Because our happiness is in serving God, right? Our happiness is in serving God. So when we align ourselves with God, and we follow the rules of God, we are able to overcome our suffering. That is the permanent solution. Second is, what is the goal of my life, right? Now the point here is, we are a spirit souls, as we already mentioned, and we pass through these bodies every day, day in, day out. हमारा body change हो रहा है, but हम लोग change नहीं होते. As an atma, we are the same, but our body is changing, right? So we have to understand that we are a soul, we are not this body. Every day we are changing this clothes. So for example, today I am wearing this shirt, tomorrow I will be wearing some other shirt. Similarly, this soul is taking a body every time it is changing into new bodies, right? So we should try to understand, how can I get rid of this body? This material body is giving me trouble. इसको मैं कैसे खत्म कर सकता हूँ? How can I get, be in a situation where I don't get this body? तो मृत्यु के समय क्या होता है? The soul leaves this body and it takes into another body. For example, in this picture, this person is riding a bicycle. Now, after some time, he'll ride a bike, then he'll ride a car, and then a small aeroplane. Similarly, this body is left, and the soul goes into another body. Then it leaves that body and goes in another body. ऐसा क्यों होता है? Because of our desire to enjoy. हमें enjoy करना था, इसलिए हम यहाँ पे आए. And we want to enjoy. That's why the God gave this world to us, right? And that's why the spirit soul is moving from one body to another in different shapes and forms. There are 84 billion species or 8.4 billion species. कुत्ते का species, giraffe का species, हाथी का species. इसमें हम जाते हैं and we try to enjoy, right? And we don't get happiness, and that's why we keep on taking another birth, another birth, another birth. That is the problem which we have, right? Now the question might be, भाई, how am I going to get the next body? क्या basis पे मिलने वाला है मुझे? यम यम वापि स्मरन् भावम तजति अन्ते कलेवरम तम तन्मे वाइति कौन्तेय सदा तदभाव भाविता. जो तुम सोचोगे मरते समय, whatever state of being one is, when he quits his body, that is what he is going to get. If I think of my family, I'll be one of the family members. If I think of a dog, I'll become a dog. If I think of a horse, I'll become a horse. Exactly जो मैं सोच रहा हूँ मरने के समय, उसी को मैं achieve करूँगा. That's what Krishna is saying. So we accept body after quitting one body based on the desire in the mind and our karmas. So जो हम कर्म करते हैं, whatever activities we are doing in this life, those and the desire actually become the basis for our next body. For example, somebody is actually, I will give some examples in the next slides, right? For example, whatever you sow is what you are going to get. Every action and reaction has equal and opposite reaction. So जो हम कर्मा करेंगे वही हमको मिलने वाला है. Right? So for example, you try to hit somebody, you are also going to get hit. If you try to smoke a lot, there's a possibility you'll get cancer, right? And there is something called delayed karma, which means there are some things you will immediately get reaction. For example, रात को मैंने उटपटा खा लिया, सुबह मेरा पेट खराब हो जाएगा. If I smoke for a long time, 20 years, I'll probably get cancer. So that's why there is instant reaction, there is delayed reaction, right? The law of karma says, if you do good things, you'll achieve a good destination. If you do sinful activities, you'll go to the hellish planets. There are 4 pillars of sinful life. Meat eating is one pillar of sinful life, which is meat eating is not a natural activity for humans. And obviously, some of you might be eating meat. But the point here is, if you do a research on the internet, especially on the WHO website, World Health Organization website, you'll find that a lot of people are getting cancer due to meat eating. It's one of the biggest problem. Second is intoxication, daru, cigarette, gutka. These are all bad things for our body. So we should avoid these things. Intoxication should avoid. Third is gambling. Gambling is not good for our body, our mind, because by doing gambling, we think we'll get immediate money, and which actually creates a bad problem, right? So gambling also is not a good thing. The fourth thing is illicit sex. When you are having sex which is outside the marriage laws, then it is also going to create problems in your life, right? So these four pillars of sinful life one should avoid in order to actually get a peaceful life. When one ignores God's law and engages in sinful activity, he is going to glide down to animal bodies. Vapis animal bodies milenge, vapis repeated birth and death, you're going to get into hellish condition, right? If, for example, here is given, if somebody is very, very addicted to meat, next life is going to become a tiger or a lion. If somebody is addicted to sleeping, 15 ghanta sote, he'll become a bear next life. Somebody doesn't want to wear clothes, he'll become a tree in the next life. Somebody, there are so many laws we have to follow. So otherwise, we'll actually take into a next life, which is not what we want, right? So we should follow austerity, sacrifice, knowledge, and associating with good people so that we can get a better destination. If we do not follow this, we're going to definitely get a bad destination which nobody wants us, right? So you have to follow this ABCD principle, associate with good people, read good books like Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, chant God's name. Every religion has got chanting of God's name. Eat diet which is vegetarian and which is good for you. And then final is basically engage yourself in activities which are God conscious. This will actually take us to the next life, which is better life. Okay. So that person who thinks of God, who thinks of God always, who is serving God, he will go to the spiritual world where there is no miseries, there is no problems, and will never come back to this miserable material world. Right? So in summary, we said there are 4 real problems and 3-fold miseries: birth, old age, disease, and death. 3-fold miseries are Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik. Adhyatmik because of body and mind, Adi Bhautik because of people and things around us, Adi Daivik because of natural disasters. Scientific solutions are very, very temporary in nature. They are patch-up solutions. They don't provide you permanent solution. It is like taking out a fish from water and trying to give it, many, many things. That is not going to make us happy. The person who went to the desolate island, he understood this is a big problem for me. In 1 year, I'm going to get killed. Better I make arrangement for my next life. So he made arrangement. So similarly, wise people think, अरे इस दुनिया में जहाँ पे अभी enjoy करने से अच्छा है मैं क्या करूँ? Let me prepare for the next life. Right? Vedic wisdom provides a permanent solution because Vedic wisdom goes to the root cause of the problem. It doesn't only solve the temporary problems. It goes to the root cause, and the root cause is our law of karma. Whatever activities we are doing, we are going to get the results of that. Better we do good activities and we avoid sinful activities and we follow God, follow God's law. That will actually make us permanently happy where there is no problems. To stop here. If there are any questions, I can take some questions. That's okay, Pratik. If you are a hardcore non-vegetarian, no issues. You can do a little bit of research and think about it. Yeah, are there any questions? Varun, are there any questions in the form? Okay, please show some replays again. I'll do that. You can take a photo if you like. Ruchir is asking, enjoyment should be balanced with work. Yes, in one sense, yes. So we should try to dedicate some time for God, like we want to enjoy. So you enjoy, but gradually you give some time for God, for spiritual activity. That will actually help us to balance. Correct. And you also enjoy within the laws given by God. For example, if you take drugs, right, which is banned by the government, then you're going to get bound, by jail. So the government is allowing you to enjoy within the limits. Similarly, you can enjoy as per God's law. Jitna Bhagwan ne permission diya hai, utna enjoy. That's it. Pranjal is asking, sir, were you aware of these things at your age? At our age? Definitely not. And that's why you are lucky that you got this information. Now, whether you want to utilize it or not, it's up to you. If I had known, I would have definitely taken to this path. Why? If you are soul and carry forward to another body, then why we don't remember anything of earlier? Yeah, because if you remember your previous life, your life will become miserable. Even in this life, we meet so many people, we do so many things, and we are not able to remember. Isko kahan mila tha? We are not able to remember. Right? So if you remember of our past life, which are millions and millions of life, it's not one life, it's millions of lives. You'll become crazy. You'll think, "Arey, abhi is life mein mila tha, ki pichle life mein mila tha, ki lakh ke life pehle mila tha." That's why to make our life easier, God only gives past life memories to certain people, and that too for only the past life. Can you please elaborate meaning of supreme destiny? Supreme destiny is basically we have come from a spiritual world, which is called as Vaikuntha, Golok, where there are no miseries. Vaikuntha means no miseries. We have come from there because we have revolted against God. That is the supreme destination. In this material world, wherever we are currently living, it's a temporary world because everything is temporary. This body is temporary. This life is temporary. But in the supreme destination, in the spiritual world, everything is permanent. There's nothing permanent. Right? So we have to go back there. That's supreme destination. What do you think about difficulty of introverts in open world? I think let's ask some questions that are relevant to the topic. So after that, there is the thing like the crow should eat something. So what is that and what? Yeah. So basically, what it is it's like a ritual done for giving some punya to the person who's died. So if you offer some food to Vishnu and leave it there, and if the crow eats, which means you are sure that your pitras, basically your descendants, have eaten the food. And if they have eaten it, which means they have got the pious credits, and they will be able to get out of the hell where they are currently. They might be currently. So your forefathers would have gone to hell, probably. Possibility hai. That's why we offer Pitru Paksha mein, Pitru Pandrodakar bolte usko. We do some puja. Because of this, they'll get some pious credits and they'll be able to get out of this hellish life and they'll be able to perform some bhakti. That is the whole idea. Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Actually, I was speaking in the middle, like when you discontinued, but due to some technical issues, it was not possible. Is it possible that, like, actually we have shared a question form, right? So students have asked some questions and they're very wonderful questions. So shall we take the questions one by one?
Yes, please.
Sure, nice. So the first question has been asked by Anish Kumar. Sir, what do you mean by klesha?
Okay. Klesha means misery. In English, klesha means misery. That's it. Nothing else. So misery, like I have got a problem with the body. That's a misery. I got a problem with my boss. I got a misery. Like that. That's called klesha. Okay. Next question, please.
Yes. The next question is how to control sleep and be active.
You don't need to control sleep. Your body needs, optimum sleep. So you have to find out it is 7 hours or 8 hours or 6 hours. What is that my body needs? Where I am eating optimal and I am eating. Bhagavad Gita says, Yukta ahara viharasya yukta sapnata chopu. Basically, it means that you need to regulate your life. Eat which is enough for your body, not too much, not too less. Sleep which is enough for your body, not too much, not too less. So you have to find out how much that sleep is. Is it 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours? Accordingly, give proper rest and utilize the rest of the time for your studies and spiritual activities. Next question, please.
Among us, we have one elevated personality, Mahesh Rauji, and he has asked very wonderful question. He is asking, how can we get spiritual happiness?
Very good question, right? So spiritual happiness can be got by doing spiritual activities. Well, one of the activities is taking God's name. Like for example, we take Hare Krishna Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That is one way of getting spiritual happiness because spirit soul needs something spiritual, and this mantra which we chant is spiritual. Even in Christians they chant on rosaries. Even in Muslims they chant. Every morning we'll hear at 5:30, Allah Allah, like that. That's also spiritual activity. You read Bhagavad Gita, you read Quran, you read Bible. That's also spiritual activity. So when you read this, when you do the spiritual activities, you are able to connect with God. Right? For example, when I want to connect my laptop to the charger, I need to connect to the socket. Correct? When I am connecting, my laptop will get the charge. If I'm not connecting, I'll not get. Similarly, when you do this activity, chanting God's name, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Quran, attending classes like these. When you're doing this, you're connecting directly with God and you're getting the spiritual energy, which is spiritual. Yeah. Next question, please.
Yes. So the next question is by Bharat Bhandari. Sir, how to be always motivated and be confident?
Yeah, it's not related to topic which we have, but I'll just briefly mention this.
Yeah.
So to be motivated, you need to have a goal in life, and that goal should be selfless. If you have a selfish goal, you will not be always motivated. So that is one thing, right? And how to be positive in life? Life brings a lot of failures, but there is always a success at the end of the failures. Many scientists have failed for thousands of times and they become successful. So when you look at these people, when you see that people have actually succeeded in trying circumstances, then you can be positive, saying, I can do this, I want to do this, and I will do this. That will keep you positive. Next question.
So the next question has been asked by Rohan Ingavale. Sir, according to science, plants also have life. So when we take the fruits, flowers, any type of vegetarian foods, in short, we take their lives. So what is the difference between veg and non-veg?
Yes, very good question. So actually, plants also have got life. Animals also have got life, right? So why only we eat plants and not animals? So the answer to the question is plants have life, but plants' consciousness is very, very subdued. Whereas animals' consciousness is very, very high as compared to the plants. That's one point. Right? That doesn't necessarily mean that you only eat, when you can eat plants and you can, destroy them. But for humans to survive, we have to have certain bare minimum, food stuff we have to eat. Plants have very low consciousness. So even if you kill a plant, it is not going to get any feelings. Second thing is we don't eat vegetarian food stuff just for the sake of it, which means we offer it to the Lord. We offer it to God. We say thank you, we offer it, and then we eat. Because God has asked in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Tojam, Jome Bhaktya Praishyati. It says that you can offer these things to me, and He's given the prescription that you can offer these things. And that's why being only vegetarian doesn't help. You should be vegetarian and you should be offering the food to Lord, saying thank you for this. Then only you don't get a sinful reaction. Being just vegetarian doesn't make you sinless. So killing an animal and killing a plant is also, both are sinful. But killing an animal is worse than plant because animals have got feelings. Animals have got emotions. They feel much more pain than a plant. That's why. Second thing is plants, even when you kill plants, we offer it to God so that the reactions will not be, we will not be able to get the reactions. And the third thing is, as humans, we'll need bare minimum food stuff we have to eat so that we can sustain and we can do certain activities. So that is what is required for eating vegetarian food. Next question, please.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, continuing this question, Rohan has asked, does that mean God has given a menu of things humans should eat? And what about animals? Who eat animals? Are they sinners?
Yeah, when an animal eats another animal, he is not a sinner because the animal has been given the facility. If you have to go in detail of this question, you can observe your intestine. The intestine of a human is 10 times bigger than the intestine of a carnivorous animal, a tiger or a lion. So that tiger or a lion, when he eats meat, the meat passes through the body very quickly. So it doesn't actually affect the lion or tiger because the body is made like that. They've got nails, they've got teeth which are carnivorous teeth, right? Or canine teeth. Whereas humans do not have canine teeth. They only have 2 canine teeth because that is for emergency purpose. Right? Otherwise, our teeth are similar to the herbivorous animals like cows and bull and others. They don't eat meat. So similarly, we are not supposed to eat meat because we have been told in the scriptures that we are not supposed to eat meat because we are actually, because another aspect here is when you practice spirituality, we need to maintain certain consciousness of the mind. When you are killing animals, you will not be able to maintain the consciousness because the mercy is going to go away. Right? If you want to kill others and become, happy, that can't be the case. That's why animals, carnivorous animals are given a certain type of body so that they can eat animals. They don't get any sin because they are allowed. For humans, we are not allowed because we are not given the, facilities. If you look at our body, our hands are not similar to the lion or tiger. Our intestine is bigger than them. So when we eat meat, the meat remains, which is decayed, remains in the body for a long period of time as compared to the animals. And that's why the probability that we'll get cancer is high. You never hear of a tiger or lion getting cancer. But if you go on WHO website, you'll find out humans are getting breast cancer and blood cancer because of non-vegetarian foodstuff. Those people who eat non-vegetarian foodstuff regularly, their probability of getting cancer is more. That's why we are not supposed to eat it. Okay. Next question.
The question here has been asked by Ajinkya Sandeep Temgiri from AISSM. He's asking, is it possible to follow Bhagavad Gita with full efficiency?
Yes, definitely. Why not? You can follow Bhagavad Gita and you can be 100% efficient. That is possible. Actually, in fact, if you read 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you will be much more efficient than what you are currently, because it allows you to control your mind. It allows you to use your mind's capacity much more. Currently, we are only using 10% of the capacity of mind because you don't even know what is the mind. But when you read Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, you will realize what the mind is and how to actually calm down the mind, how to use the mind. So when you know you got intelligence and you can use the intelligence to control the mind, your power to actually do studies or do any kind of work increases tenfold. That's why you'll become more efficient. If you read Bhagavad Gita, you'll be actually become more efficient than what you are currently.
Yes.
Next
So,
question.
we are actually done with the questions. So let
There
us
are some
conclude.
questions in the chat window. If
Okay,
you are okay, I can take them.
Yeah, sure. So
Okay, so there's one says, I don't know who it is from. We get birth, life, then death. Why this? Many people just take birth, money for reproduction, die. Yeah, the reason is basically we asked for this. We wanted to enjoy separately from God. This will come in the next few sessions as well. So we said to God, hey, I don't want to stay with you. I want to enjoy separately. So God created this environment, which is the temporary environment. He said you can try to enjoy. And we are trying to enjoy by living, by trying to enjoy ourselves, right? That's why this shadow has been created, where we get a birth, we have life, and then we die, right? So we have to understand, how do I get out of this? Not that why is it given. For example, if you get malaria by a mosquito bite, I don't ask which malaria bit me, which mosquito bit me, when did it bit me, where did it bit me, then only I'll take medicine. No, now that you know you have got malaria, you have to take medicine. Similarly, now you know the problem is birth, death, old age, disease. So I have to find out how to get rid of this rather than asking kyun hai. Next is it possible to follow by? I answered the question. In Durga Puja, we serve food to good and thank them to God and thank them. Yeah, it's similar to that, but only thing is we don't offer non-vegetarian food. Our purpose of life is to attain superior station. That's correct. Absolutely correct. Our purpose is to go back to where we came from. For example, if I'm from Pune and I go to Mahabaleshwar for a picnic, but I like Mahabaleshwar a lot, and I say कि यहीं पे रहूँगा अभी, मैं यहीं पे रहने वाला हूँ, and my family is back in Pune, then I'll be missing the family after some time. Similarly, we are in this material world, which is temporary thing, and we have come from the spiritual world. We have to go back where we came from. यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? यहाँ पे we are trying to enjoy, but we are not being enjoyed like that. Okay. Basically, in Bhagavad Gita, it is written that we should control anger, but in this world, there we get angry frequently. That's why we need to read Bhagavad Gita. You have to chant God's name, and you will get the power to overcome it. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you so much for your attendance and your participation. Very nice participation. I look forward to meeting you again in the next few sessions.
thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful lecture. I hope students have taken some lessons from this wonderful session. And like just one announcement that I have posted the link in the chat box. This is the PDW test, the test that has been on this topic that sir has elaborated. So students are requested to give the test ASAP so that things will also get revised. If you are not able to give the test, and also if you're able to give the test, it's very wonderful. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today in the evening. We are very thankful to you. Hope you have no doubts, and if you have doubts, then no worries, you can always ask your mentors. They are always ready to help you. And if you want to ask sir personally also, please reach us to us. We will let your questions know to sir. So thank you everyone for joining us today in the evening. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful class. Okay, the students who are asking for the attendance link, students, let me know. Actually, let me tell you that attendance has been recorded, so no need to worry about the attendance. Even how many times you have attended the session, that time also has recorded. So no need to worry about the attendance and all this stuff. We will mark your attendance. Thanks so much again for joining us in the session. Let's conclude the session here. Thank you so much.